Harrigan spells Harrigan.
Just in case you didn't know how to spell.
I'm proud of all the Irish blood that's in me. Divils a man can say a word again me.
Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. Today I am going to review 5 albums that I bought. Now, I'm going to take a page from one of my favorite YouTubers, This Is Music. So Kim usually shows the CDs that he buys and hauls, and then later he shows another video where he's listened to them and he's giving his reviews. So I'm kind of doing that. So hey, I'm stealing from the master. Now, I previously showed these 5 videos in a Friday night chat. 5 albums in a Friday night chat. I just showed, hey, this is what I bought. And now I've listened to them and I'm going to review them with clips. So I'm going to start with Mickey Rooney's George M. Cohan album. Now, this album I thought that I would enjoy the most, and I actually went ahead and really enjoyed it. So I didn't realize it, but this is from a TV show that was broadcast, and so this is the soundtrack that accompanies that TV. I don't like that little hair sticking down there. The TV show. And I'm gonna have to say that I thoroughly enjoyed this album. I predicted it. It was great from beginning to end. So let's look at the songs. So George M. Cohan is a very famous figure for Broadway and I guess for movies. Even James Cagney played him. So look, visual aids, look at that. Great picture of James Cagney. So he played him in a very famous movie. Now, these songs, many of them you're going to know. So Yankee Doodle Boy, Give My Regards to Broadway, You're a Grand Old Flag, I'm Always Chasing Rainbows, and there's a couple that you would probably know, but I knew them, but I didn't recognize the titles, and I'm trying to, I think one of them was I Couldn't Be More in Love. There were like two that. Oh, You Couldn't Tell the Teardrops from the Rain. I think I knew that one already. So of this entire album, there were only a couple songs that I didn't know, and I'm going to have to say that they are all beautifully played and sung. He does an amazing job, and his backing orchestra, it's Van Alexander and his orchestra. They do a phenomenal job, and in fact, I'm going to play clips. So you're going to be able to experience this album. Now, I just want to say a funny aside. I was listening to this oblivious. I was kind of doing something in my room and I didn't realize my husband was outside cleaning the yard, and he comes marching in and he had a stick and he was twirling it because some of the songs on here, although there are some slower numbers, many of them do have that patriotic marching feel, and that just cracked me up. But anyways, it's still a really fun album. So I'm going to be inserting clips throughout. Now I have some of the patriotic ones. I think I recorded Yankee Doodle Boy.
Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride the ponies. I am that Yankee Doodle boy.
And maybe Give My Regards to Broadway. But I also recorded a couple of the slower ones. For example, Mary's a Grand Old Name. I hadn't heard that one before, but it is a very pretty song. And of course, I included I'm Always Chasing Rainbows. He does a great job, but the first half of it, he kind of just like reads it. I mean, it's like a kind of sad or a lament. It's like poetry that he's reading. And so he kind of just speaks the lines, and then at the very end, he sings. But there is an instrumental break in the middle, and it's very beautiful. So I'm including that instrumental break. But I also want to say, this is a shameless plug. I don't have the album in front of me, but I do have the album. Jane Oliver sings this song, I'm Always Chasing Rainbows, and she does such a phenomenal job. So I'm going to include a small clip of her singing it at the beginning, and I want to let you know that if you like what you hear, she gets better by the end of the song. This is just the beginning, and she's building up. Jane Oliver is awesome. Check her out.
Chasing rainbows.
So I think I bought this for $3 or $4. Was it worth it? Absolutely. If you find this for cheap, you really have to buy it. It's a fun album. First of all, look at that cover. That's awesome. Look at that back for a couple bucks. I mean, gone are the days of finding these kind of things in the dollar bin. So we're starting out, thumbs up. Great album. The next album I'm going to talk about is called Free Fall by the Richard Sussman Quintet. Now, obviously, as I always state, I bought this for the cover. I have no idea about these people. I actually do not know much about jazz, so everything that I'm going to say is out of ignorance. I basically just listen and decide if I like it. And there's a lot of jazz that I don't like, and that is mostly the jazz that is, what do you call it, where it's not practiced. You just, they sit down and they start basically jamming, and they see where it leads. Now, a lot of time, for me, I think that would be really, really good live, but not something that I enjoy particularly listening to. So, based on this cover, I thought, well, maybe this is kind of like jazz, almost a new age, and it pretty much is. This is a really nice recording. I was, I think, reading or messing around on my iPad while I was listening to this, and I listened to it at least 3 times. It's very nice. There's nothing that really stands out that say, oh, I could highly recommend this. But if you could find this for a couple bucks and you like that photo, I just don't think that this really stands out in its genre above everything. But really, what do I know? I really did enjoy this, and I do have a clip for you to listen to. It was very nice, very well played. Let's go ahead and look at the back. So there we have, I guess that's Richard Sussman. And there's some of the Lady of the Lake. And some of the titles are kind of interesting. So we have Dance of the Spheroids. Yeah, I mean, this is a fun recording. And I wouldn't say, oh, you have to run out and buy this. No, but if you could find this for a couple bucks, you're really going to enjoy it. It's worth that. We have Bach Festival. Now, I almost didn't buy this. This is the kind of cover that I'm not really crazy about, but I did like the simplicity of this one, so I went ahead and picked it up. So this is Bach Festival, and I only got it for $3. It was great. Here's the back. Now, as I was listening to this, I had a couple of thoughts. So first off, I was listening to this as background music, and I thought, as I listened to it, it was kind of boring. Now, I'm going to say that with a caveat. As you listen to this more and more, you appreciate it more and more. And I think that this is an important one to listen to at higher volume. Also, I'm going to say that this is one recording where I regret the limits of my stereo. I think that this is a recording that needs to fill your room with sound. The better stereo equipment you have, I think this would be a recording that would knock it out of the park. Now, I listened to this numerous times, and there's going to be a clip. It begs for a good stereo system. So I'm going to relate a little story. So I went to the Mormon Tabernacle, just the Mormon Tabernacle, right? And it was hot. I was, walking around, sightseeing. So I was a little bit tired. I go inside the Mormon Tabernacle, and there is an organist playing this type of music. And the acoustics in the place, the room, the sound, the shape of the room, I guess everything, it just worked. And the music coming out of that organ, very similar to this, filled me with a real sense of peace. Of course, I was tired, and so I was sitting down, but I was fully immersing myself into the music, and I remember that. And I just was very peaceful. And I think that if I had a really good stereo system, that this could replicate that feeling. It is even with the equipment I have when I turn it up, this is a gorgeous recording. So if you can find this for a couple bucks and you have a great stereo system, this is well worth it. The next recording I'm going to talk about is a true dollar bin find. So I found Leftover Wine by Melanie. So this is a concert performance, and I normally wouldn't buy these because I'm really trying to only buy artistic covers because I'm just out of room. But when I found this in the dollar bin, number one, you can't tell, but the texture is so pretty. And it's actually not a bad cover, and it's a gatefold. And when you open up the gatefold, you got some, nice images of her performing like that one. So I thought for $1, even if I don't like it and I throw it away, it's not like I'm losing much. So, and I think I know her. I mean, I've definitely heard her before. I think she's the one who sings, I got a brand new pair of roller skates, but I didn't look it up. But it's not on this recording. This is actually a really, really nice recording. The one thing that I want to say, though, is that when she speaks, she's very hesitant. She kind of has a mousy voice. I don't know, she seems nervous talking to an audience. So when she's speaking to the audience, she sounds very hesitant. But it is a concert recording. And I mean, that's fine. But she has a very strong voice. So let's go ahead and hear a clip. And another thing that's nice about her voice is that it's often very quirky. So I'm going to say definitely for $1, this is worth it. This is a really nice. So record number 5 is With Love from A Chorus. Now this was a total cover grab. I just loved that cover. I had no idea whether I would like this one or not. When I first put it on, it sounded very cheesy. So basically it's a men's chorus. But it started becoming powerful, and I started getting drawn into the songs. They're beautifully presented by this chorus. So let me go ahead and show the album and then the back of it. Now, what's interesting about it is there are 3 basically songs per side, but each song, they call them bands, each song consists of 3 songs. So there's basically 9 songs per side. And a lot of them are folk songs. Very pretty. They just do a great job. So let's go ahead and listen to a clip. So would I highly recommend this album? No. If you liked that clip that you heard, then you should absolutely buy this if you could find this for a couple bucks. Man, is it worth it. Now, like I said, when I first started listening to it, I was just but by the end, I was singing along to certain tracks because, I listened to it at least 3 times. And there were certain tracks that really stood out that I was really getting into. And so I ended up enjoying this way more than I thought. I also want to show the inner sleeve because it's really, really pretty. So you got this on one side, and then you have some other recordings that I would like to get. I think I have a couple of them. I have the Victory at Sea for sure. I may have this one, Morton Gould's Moon, Wind, and Stars. If not, I certainly have some in that series. So yeah, I don't think I have any of the other ones. Anyways, interesting. I like this sleeve that it came in. All right, and the last one I'm going to show is the Leonard Bernstein. Now this is the one I actually paid a lot of money for. I ended up paying, if you could see that, $15 for this, and for me that's a splurge. But I trust Bernstein, and then this cover, I just wanted that. And so I've heard The Rites of Spring many times. I'm pretty sure I've heard Bernstein's version or one of his versions of it. And I'm going to say that this is a thoroughly enjoyable album. So I think this was the symphony that when it was first played, there was a riot. Something like that was Stravinsky. It is a really interesting recording, and it's I actually really like it. So you would think that there's a lot of those like elements that make it like atonal and just kind of like weird and out there, but by modern standards, this is not. So if you've ever been scared of Stravinsky, I think you'll actually enjoy this. Maybe it's because I've heard it so many times. And now, you know, I have this recording that sounded phenomenal by Bernstein. And so I'm actually very glad that I purchased this. All right, which one was your favorite? Let me go ahead and show them again. Oops, I got them all over the place. So we've got the men's chorus. We've got the, you know, very quirky Melanie Live. We've got two classical pieces. We've got Bernstein, and then we have Bach. And finally, we have a jazz, like free jazz maybe, and a soundtrack to an old TV show. So which of these albums would you definitely pick up for the prices that I quoted? Which of these would, after hearing them, you're like, no, even hearing your clip, I'm not convinced. I don't mind. You know, music is subjective. So what I like is, you know, obviously not what everyone's going to like, but overall, I am very happy with the purchase that I made. So this ended up being $35 or $36 for all 6. And I think I got my money's worth. I want to thank you for watching, and thank you for your support. As always, I love those comments. So please respond to the video.